Hey everybody, how's it going? Steve here with a quick Game & Watch for SuperMash for the Nintendo Switch. This Game & Watch is going to be a little different than most because most of our Game & Watch episodes are our first experiences with the game. However, I have played this and I wanted to talk to you about it because there's a lot to unpack here. So let's go ahead and jump right in and I'll talk you through my experience with the game so far. Now, one thing I didn't know was that SuperMash actually was already released on PC last December. That was something I wasn't aware of. The concept of the game is that you have 6 different genres of games like platformer, JRPG, action, stealth, that kind of thing, and you can mix any 2 genres to make a new game. That sounds really cool on its face. So you might be asking what the heck this is. And this is the story mode with probably one of the worst walking animations I think I've ever seen in a game. Like the character designs and everything kind of remind me of like an edutainment Flash game, but that's not really why we're here. Let's go ahead and jump in. So everything you do is in this store and you have several different things you can look at. There's a journal, there's some dev cards, and I'll explain what those are in a minute. You can go here and buy card packs. But the core of the game is this create mash function. So as you can see, we have the option to select 2 genres. The whole list is here. We have platformer, stealth, shoot 'em up, JRPG, Metroidvania, or Metrovania as they call it, action adventure. So that's it. That's all you have. And that's not a bad list. Those are some pretty great games. Like I can think of awesome examples of pretty much every single one of these genres. But I mean, where you might think about Mario, and let's go ahead and go with what they choose, but you might think of like a Mario, and really the platformer examples are closer to a Bubsy in nature. They're just, you'll see. Let's go ahead and jump in and see what happens here. Let's see what we get. They claim that you'll never get the same thing twice, but to me, they all kind of feel samey. So we have Princess Blood Money. Okay. We'll start up the game. Normally there's some kind of story at the beginning of each minigame that doesn't make a whole ton of sense. I mean, which is okay. They're randomly generated supposedly, but you'll see what I'm talking about when we get into the gameplay. So here's our little story. From the strange squares of the Kokoba Kingdom to the snowy fields of slippy icy snowland, there's a world of adventure awaiting Digiwing. While everything can be jumped on, beware the wacky and mixed up enemies. They'll often throw an arrow or rocket your way. Do you have what it takes to jump, roll, and bop your way to become the wealthiest hero in the Kuba Kingdom in under 10 minutes, or will you end up falling down a bottomless pit? Let's find out. So they kind of hide the objective of each of these minigames in these stories, so skipping them does not serve you very well in most cases. And you get kind of like a randomized character and they have abilities and this kind of stuff. So, okay, we have a dodge roll, we have a high jump, we have a Vulcan cannon. Let's go ahead and start the game and see what happens. So there are glitches too. So there's enemies are frozen and enemies are spawned. They don't tell you how to really activate those. You have to kind of figure it out. And right away, you can see that the frame rate is just not great. Oh, I fell already. But the frame rate in these games can be really rough, especially considering how visually simplistic they are. Like I'm getting a lot of stutter with this. Like every time those planes seem to spawn in, I have a major issue with them. And like my screen just cracked, but there I couldn't even see what was happening. And this is indicative of the quality of most of these mini games. They're kind of like these mashups of games that weren't great to begin with, and you're taking elements from 2 of them and making something that's less than the sum of its parts. Like this is, I mean, it's just poorly designed. It's not very fun. And of course, we'll go through a couple of examples of this. This is just, I mean, but you can, I mean, they perform just so badly. And there's earlier when I was playing, I had an instance where, well, that happened. So let's go ahead and move on to another one. But I had an instance where I was playing a shoot 'em up and enemies just didn't spawn, like at all. And the goal was to kill 25 enemies and literally none ever appeared on the screen. Let me show you one of the more broken ones. I find that the JRPG genre doesn't work with almost any other one, but this was probably one of my favorite examples was when I mixed JRPG and shmups, and it was just so weird. So we'll see if we can get similarly strange results this time. And the load times, I mean, there's actual load times on these, and these games are so simple that it feels like there just shouldn't be. All right, so we have Wandering Hurricane. And I think if they did this game right, it could have had like a WarioWare kind of vibe to it, or a Game Center CX kind of vibe, because I mean the pixel art graphics are pretty nice. I don't mind the visual presentation of the games themselves. I hugely dislike the presentation of the story mode. I'm going to go ahead and skip this. And I apologize, earlier I said that you don't get the objective, but they do show it under your character, which I forgot about. So we have a copper spear. We have Blade and April, which are party members, I assume. And we have to defeat the Mimic. So we can gain life and enemy damage up somehow by activating glitches. And there's just tanks. Okay. But see, and then you've got these guys just flying around shooting. I'm not sure what any of that means. Okay, so this is a random encounter. We don't know what the Mimic is. I don't know how to find it out either. So they just are going to do more damage now that we used magic, I guess? I'm not really... Cool. So we killed them all. But yeah, I have no clue where my objective is. I have no clue how to find it. I guess I'm going to try to walk into this. Oh, you can't walk into that. That's all right. And these guys are just going to shoot at me. And now I'm in a fight again with a plane. So the changes are really just like surface level kind of stuff. I mean, you can see that not a lot of this really makes sense. Like, we mashed up a shmup and a JRPG, but all it did was it added tanks and planes as enemies in an RPG style battle system. So, I mean, it doesn't really capture the essence of mashing up two genres. This is just kind of replacing certain assets with those from another predetermined game type, which is not really great. And the same can be said for most, if not all, of the other mashups. You're really just taking an element from another game and copying it onto another. Like, it doesn't feel like these are actual mechanical mashups. And so I guess this is our boss, and we got killed instantaneously. So I mean, we have a melee weapon. I'm gonna assume this is the Mimic. I don't really know. And now there's just a portal. I mean, I guess we're supposed to leave through the portal? I don't really understand what just happened. But we can go back into it. So, in this case, these games just feel horribly broken. And that's our whole map, I guess. So I don't know what we're supposed to be doing here. I guess we boosted our player speed. Yeah, I mean, so you can see we kind of have no way forward to do anything here. And it's not uncommon for games to be broken this way, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. Like, I feel like the bare minimum was done to make this game functional in terms of the actual core concept. There's some trappings around it. You can collect cards, you can add things in, you can save some of these. But ultimately, most of these just are not fun. And that's probably the strongest criticism I can level against this game is it is actively not fun to play. I mean, is it a cool idea? Absolutely. This is a really cool idea, but it's a perfect example of poor execution kind of marring what could have been an excellent game. You know, the story mode feels kind of tacked on and unnecessary at best. Some of the games they come up with are just downright unplayable. I feel like a little more QA would have gone a very long way towards making this an enjoyable experience. But I'm not sure if maybe they just didn't have the time or the resources. But if you read the reviews from 2019 for the PC version of this game, a lot of those same sentiments are echoed there too. It just feels like kind of a hastily put together idea. Or maybe the developers just didn't have the resources to fully realize it. But like right now, I'm definitely in a game I can't beat. I don't know what the mimic is. I think it was that guy we were fighting in the more shmup-like battle earlier, but it is really difficult to tell. And this is one of the only ones I've played with just no time limit. Most of these have a time limit of sorts. So we'll go back and we'll try this one more time. And if this doesn't work, we'll go on to another. Yeah, so you can see whatever has happened here. I have somehow broken the game because the thing we're supposed to kill is just no longer spawning after he kicked our butts twice. So I'm going to go ahead and call it on this one, and I'll show you some more examples. But this is not the first time, and it might not even be the last time in this video that I end up with a mini game I cannot clear. And then you just have kind of what feels like unreasonably long load times. For a very simplistically presented game. So let's go ahead and try stealth, and we'll mix that with a Metrovania, as they call it. And these are on normal average games. You can change the length on these. Like, I'll make this one short, but I'll make it difficult. And then we'll start that and see what happens. And you can see this is also, you know, this logo is kind of masking load times. So we have luxurious heroes. And we're obviously trying to emulate Metal Gear here. So we need to find a key card in under 10 minutes. And last time I played one of these, I had the exact same objective. So, I mean, different characters and everything, but let's just keep going and see what happens. So I'm going to skip this story. They're never really all that great to read. Marcus looks like a character from a beat 'em up game, which is interesting. I guess I have a flamethrower. Find the yellow key card in under 10 minutes. Okay, sure. And you can see we did something to cause enemy damage to go up, but who knows what it was. I guess it was just moving. And we're just searching through here. You can see even the animations are pretty bad. We can grab more time from there. Uh-oh, we got spotted. I mean, someone's throwing flaming axes for some reason. But we just kind of killed everybody and it's fine again. There isn't a whole lot to this. These stealth games are pretty simple. I thought I would like these more than I do. But we found the yellow key card and that was it. I mean, and that was a hard mission. So when you complete one of these mashes, you get the options to keep some of these. You can save them if you want. But honestly, I've never thought like, oh wow, this was so great, I need to come back to it. So you can share them as well, but I don't know. Like I said, none of these are remarkable really in any major way. We'll go back to create another mash here. And let's go ahead and do an action adventure. And the other thing is, I mean, I'm trying not to repeat here, but there's so few genres that you can mess with. So we'll make this one a long one and we'll leave it at normal difficulty. And here we can put in, like, we can decide who our main character is. We can put in enemies. I'll tell you what, I'll put in the dun-duns. For weapons, we can put in weapons. I'll use a stone blade. And we can even select like the glitches or whatever. But honestly, I imagine as you collect more cards, maybe it becomes more interesting. But again, I don't think there's anything that can really save this game and make it fun to play for extended periods. I've spent a couple hours with it and it just hasn't clicked. I doubt it will for most people because, like I said, the games feel bad. Here we have Amulets of Sprint. Sure. You know, I'll have to show you guys. I'll do the next one as a shoot 'em up because I think that is probably the most egregious example of a poor performance in this game. I've played a couple different shoot 'em up games and they've all played pretty badly. Like dipping into 10 or fewer frames per second, stuff like that. So let's go ahead and see what we get here. So we are playing as Digi Flames, so another like block of tofu looking character. And we've got the weapon we selected. He's got a couple different abilities. And it's got the glitch we selected. Find the stone of ice in under 5 minutes. Okay. And so these are obviously a take on Zelda. I mean, you can tell from the art style, they tried very hard to emulate Link to the Past. And it's not a terrible effort. It's cute. This is probably one of the best genres here, but they're still just unremarkable. And it seems like the enemies you put in just do random things. Like, they've all decided that these guys do just silly things. So here we can see, okay, we've got some money. And money is fairly useless because these games are like 5 minutes long. It's not a... It's not like these are very involved. And then you've got stuff like this. Like, what is this guy even here for? See, I just got killed by random grenade launcher guy. We'll go ahead and try that one again just because I feel like I probably killed myself prematurely. But this is probably the example of the one genre that is at least playable. And that's not saying a ton. You know, I still wouldn't... I definitely would not recommend anybody go out and buy this game for this. If you're a really huge fan of the concept in general of games being mashed up like this, then cool. Maybe this will satisfy that curiosity, but I have a feeling the vast majority of people would just be frustrated by this. The character designs aren't great. The gameplay is really not great. And there's just so much left to be desired by this game. I would feel bad telling someone to go try this. I don't know what that does. So the Staff of Transmutation seems to do absolutely nothing. Oh, there we go. It just took a bunch to kill one person with it. And now that we've got it, we leave, I guess. And now we're just back here where we were. And maybe it's just me, but I feel like it's running worse now that we've come back from this. This guy tells me I can't keep a secret. That's cool. I mean, we've got 3.5 minutes left to figure out what exactly we're supposed to be doing here. And we have another glitch. And yeah, I feel this game is running noticeably slower now. Oh yeah, what the heck even is this? So this is just running like trash, really, which is unfortunate, but no, man, I'm not sure. This game doesn't explain to me what I'm doing or why. Let's grab a time extension. Got us a whole 5 seconds. I mean, there's no real sense of what you're supposed to do in these. So if I had to say, while these play the best out of the genres available, they don't do a great job of giving you a sense of what the heck you're supposed to be doing. Like, I just picked up hover boots. Who knows what I use those for? Found a chicken launcher. Wonderful. I don't know what the heck I just bought, but okay. Yeah, we're probably going to run out of time before I figure out what it is I'm supposed to do here. And now we're back to where we started. Let's see. Probably need to come back this way, I imagine. And we can't use these boots. Like, it doesn't explain to us how to use them, so that's fun. And I can't anticipate that it will teach us how to use them, unfortunately. Ugh, this is just such a frustrating experience. Like, I have no clue where to go, what to do. All I know is I have 30 seconds to figure it out. And that's really one of the biggest things against this game is it never explains. You just get an objective and you're supposed to figure it out. And it seldom feels rewarding when you do because everything's random. There's no curation, there's no design, there's really nothing. It feels like you're beta testing garbage. You're just playing a bunch of crap someone put together in the hopes that you eventually find something fun and worthwhile. And in my experience, you never do. Like right now, I'm just traversing through a fairly lifeless world trying to what? I mean, that's really the question here is what is the purpose of any of what I'm doing? You know, there's just really almost no point to this. And as I expected, I've basically run out of time. And I have no desire to continue playing these because there's almost no incentive to beat any one specific mashup. You can just switch to another one and play it. Because the story pretty much revolves completely around the story pretty much revolves completely around playing mashups, but they're never specific ones. You're never given like, here's a mashup you have to play. It's just this is a mashup you could play, or just beat 3 normal mashups, or beat 3 easy mashups, or whatever. You never have the opportunity to play anything that was created seemingly by the developers. It's just, you know, hey, play any of this other stuff. Here's another key element. You fill out this journal as you go through, so you can kind of see what the different things you can unlock are. But God, do I never want to play these. Like, see, I mean, there's stuff like, oh, you unlocked a blue key card. Like, who cares? You can't make anything with these. So it's not like you can even go Mario Maker style and design your own mashups and have them be fun. There's no creation tools here. There's really almost no content. You can see these are the things you can unlock, but none of this jumps out at you like, oh man, this might make this experience better. Or it might improve things in a tangible way, because it won't. They're just sprites, and most of them do the same things. So there's no real incentive as a player to unlock these things. I mean, the designs, the sprite art's fine. It's nice to look at in some cases. But none of it really makes me feel like I need to get these. I haven't seen a single thing where I'm like, wow, I definitely want to have that so that I can have more fun with this. None of this adds value to the game at all, really. Because really the game is kind of flawed at its core. Like I promised, I'm going to go ahead and do a shoot 'em up. And the one thing I want to show you is that you can do the same exact genre. So you can mash up a shoot 'em up with a shoot 'em up. And you would think that this would result in a more pure, fun to play experience. Let's just see how that goes for us. Top Aviation. I'm just going to skip this. There's never any value in them. So I'm playing as a G74 Striker. 2 health, 3 speed. What is my weapon? It is a blue laser. And I've got a dodge roll. Okay. Ignore damage and weapon level decrease. Find the man who stole your ride in under 7 minutes. I mean, I'm in a ship, so Okay. And you can already see there's stutter when enemies spawn in. Like, I mean, this is not a very demanding genre. These games have been around since the beginning of time, really. And yet, whenever a specific enemy type pops in, and you can see even the screen scrolling is really stuttering. So, I mean, it is bad. So performance is just terrible, and like unforgivably so. It's amazing to me that this game runs this poorly, given how visually simplistic it is. You really could have been onto something here. Like, I mean, visually, this is not a bad looking shoot 'em up, but this looks like something from the Super NES, and it runs worse than just about any Super NES game I can think of. And this is on the Switch, which, I mean, there's no excuse, really. Also, who is the man that stole my ride? How do I know that I found the man that stole my ride? I have questions. Okay. Oh, this is, yeah. I don't know if I would give this game, I don't know that I'd go as far as to say I hate this game, but I actively dislike this game. And we just transitioned areas, and that was like a crazy amount of load time for this. And yeah, our frame rate is just tanking here. This is so incredibly hard to enjoy. I mean, and I still have no clue what I'm looking for. That's the thing. Like, the man who stole my ride. Cool. Is he a bug? Because that seems to be most of what I'm fighting. Oh, that might be him, maybe? I don't really know. Did you steal my ride, apparently? And I can just abuse the heck out of this dodge roll. It makes me completely invincible, it feels like. And I can just mash the button. So there's no skill involved either. Like, this is not, and apparently that's not the guy I was looking for. I think I've killed at least one of every enemy type, and I still haven't found the man that stole my ride. Like, I mean, why is that even a thing? I feel like they just put this into like a ad-lib generator to come up with titles and stuff, like noun, verb, and then cool, that's our game title, and that's our story. Which, if they framed it differently, like, haha, it's supposed to be funny, that might work, but they don't. There's nothing comedic about this game. And it's just kind of sad. Oh, there we go. Got a medal. Still no clue what I'm doing or what I'm supposed to be doing. This is cool, I guess. Chugging along at a nice 10 to 15 FPS. Maybe they're just trying to give us the feeling of playing a really poorly optimized PAL game. Oh cool, we're right back where we were. Alright. Oh, you know, there's just bands where the graphics are missing too. Oh, that apparently is where the stage loops over, I guess? Okay. Sure. Now I'm just trying to kill every enemy I can find. Because they never tell you who you're looking for, which is... I mean, it could just be that it's one of these random enemies that's out here. You just have to find the right one. I mean, okay. Maybe eventually I'll find it. Yeah, I can't take this. This is driving me insane. Oh no. Literally nothing. So yeah, we've looped through this stage twice. We have not found our target. The game does not really let you know who your target is or what you should be looking for. So you just kind of have to randomly hope you find it. The obvious boss-looking character is not it for some reason. It's what happens when you randomize game design, I guess. And leave it up to an algorithm, I hope? We've got, mercifully, only 25 seconds left. I'm intentionally ignoring the power-ups that'll give me more time because I cannot play this longer than I already have. This just hurts to play past this point. So I think that's about all I can stomach of SuperMash for now. But that should give you a good idea of the game. Unfortunately, it's a great concept that is completely flawed in its execution, and it results in a game that is not only not good, but just actively not fun to play. Even if the mashups were good, the games underneath are bad. They run poorly, they have bad mechanics, unclear objectives. I cannot, it's hard for me to quantify all the things I dislike about this game in such a short video, but I hope this has helped you. I hope you've enjoyed watching this a lot more than I've enjoyed playing it. But I wanted to give you guys a quick rundown of what the game is like. I would definitely recommend you steer far clear of this game, unless the idea of mashing up genres is just so incredibly appealing that you have to try it yourself. But honestly, someone's going to do it better. There's just better ways to do this, unfortunately. I think SuperMash is the worst possible example of how to mash up game genres. Anyway, that wraps it up for this quick game and watch of a really disappointing game. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe to GameXplain for much more on other games. I promise, other games. And ring that notification bell to be the first to know every time we upload a new video. And I'll see you next time.